Burdekin in North Queensland is one of the state's richest agricultural regions and also a highly productive area for seafood. It is centred on the huge Burdekin River, more than 730 kilometres long, with a catchment area of more than 130,000 square kilometres and, in an average year, discharging a greater volume of fresh water than any other river system in Queensland. Upstream, the river has been dammed to form Queensland's largest lake, Lake Dalrymple, with an area of 220 square kilometres and capacity of 1,860 million cubic metres of water. However, our focus is downstream, around the Burdekin River Delta, ideal for growing sugarcane, but also providing a rich habitat for seafood species like barramundi and mud crabs. Here, a network of lagoons, swamps and mangroves form vital fisheries habitat. The Burdekin Delta is south of Townsville, north of Bowen and adjacent to the twin towns of Ayr and Home Hill. It provides access to significant offshore fishing grounds for reef fishermen and prawn trawlers. But the styles of fishing most identified with the Burdekin are net fishing for barramundi, threadfin and other fish, and potting for mud crabs in waters closer to shore. Commercial fishing in the Burdekin region goes back to the earliest days of European settlement. Since then, it has provided abundant catches for generations of fishing families, and still today continues to supply fresh tropical seafood and make an important contribution to the regional economy. While commercial fishing has been conducted in the region since the 1800s and seafood catches are sustainable and the habitat well protected, fishers realise they must demonstrate their stewardship of the marine environment. One of the responses from Burdekin fishers has been volunteering for an environmental management system, or EMS, funded by the Australian Government's Caring for Our Country program. It was developed by a local industry in conjunction with the Queensland Seafood Industry Association. Local fishers document their fishing practices and look for ways to further improve their environmental performance. It is a way of readily demonstrating continuing commitment to sustainable fishing practices and stewardship of the marine environment. The EMS coordinator for the region is Elaine Luthwaite.
Fishers from each of the fisheries have made a voluntary commitment to the environment when they sign up to EMS. EMS is becoming increasingly important to fishermen. It is the foundation to their businesses. They can integrate food safety plans, marketing plans for a holistic approach to fishing as we move forward.
Local fishers like John Byers understand the value of EMS.
Well, I look at it this way, the fishing industry has been very good to me, and it's good for me to be good back to the resource and the industry, and give something back as much as you can, like we just, it's always good to try and find and better yourself all the time and try and do things that are more healthy for the environment and create less impacts all the time, and that's what EMS is all about.
Burdekin fishers are also aware of the absolute necessity to protect barramundi habitat if the stocks of this iconic northern sport and food fish are to be maintained. They are the eyes and ears of the community in remaining alert for any threats, such as pollution or reclamation, that may threaten barramundi nursery areas in particular. This is something that local professional fishers like Neil Green, who's been working this area for over 30 years, well understand.
What I see is a really good future, providing we can look after the habitat that these fish rely on. That's right from the freshwater reaches in the lagoons through to the ocean. The community can play a vital role. Every little bit of runoff that comes from from the urban backyard to farming land plays a vital role in the habitat and the survival of barramundi. I mean, all our lagoons and swamps, which are the breeding ground for the barramundi, where they start their life and then they make their way to the ocean, needs to be protected and looked after. It's not just about the saltwater reaches. Freshwater is very important, and the freshwater flows that come from flood events are so important to this fishery. And everyone can play their part in looking after it, and every little bit we do all adds up, and we ends up with a sustainable fishery that we can all share in. Then we will always have this great fish, this Queensland iconic barramundi.
Also vital to seafood production are mangroves. Mangroves play an important role in maintaining the natural environment and provide a habitat for a wide range of aquatic species. For example, adult barramundi are commonly caught around mangroves, and they're also home to all life stages of mud crabs. In fact, another name for the mud crab is the mangrove crab. The aquatic environment must be protected to ensure the supply of wild-caught seafood into the future. Local professional fishermen are determined to ensure that vital fish habitat is retained as the region continues to grow. Professional fishermen in the Burdekin region also observe numerous regulations to prevent overfishing of popular seafood species. For example, the total number of professional fishermen is limited, and the number who can engage in any type of fishing is also limited. Then there are strict rules on net fishing, covering, for example, the size of mesh in the nets, the length of nets, and where they can be placed. Large areas of the coast are closed to all forms of net fishing. Also, net fishing is not allowed during the spawning season for barramundi, something that local fishermen strongly support. In the Burdekin, the spawning period covers 3 months of summer, November 1st to February 1st. There are also rules designed to protect mud crab stocks for the future and ensure sustainable fishing. For example, basic rules include releasing male mud crabs that haven't yet reached the minimum legal size, and releasing all female mud crabs regardless of size. The number of pots that each licensed crab fisherman is allowed to use is strictly limited, and every pot carries an identifying tag showing his name and licence number to assist with enforcement of the rules. Professional fishermen in the Burdekin region are dedicated to ensuring that the natural environment is protected and that seafood stocks are sustainable for the generations to come. Catches from inshore waters in the Burdekin region are supplied to local retail shops for the majority of local residents who enjoy fresh local fish and crabs but don't catch their own, and also for the many tourists to the region for whom a visit to North Queensland would not be the same without enjoying some of the region's wonderful tropical seafood. Thanks to local fishers' adoption of an environmental management system in conjunction with the Queensland Seafood Industry Association, residents and visitors alike will be able to go on enjoying a sustainable harvest of wild seafood into the future. Fishermen are adopting environmental management systems round the Queensland coast. For more information, contact the Queensland Seafood Industry Association.